I don't know why we're doing this, but we're doing a tournament report on the car ride back. I already want to kill myself.
Woo!
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, New Jersey Regional. I guess Dean, go first.
Okay. So, for New Jersey, I wanted to play ReZero, which I don't actually own in English. Yeah, I own Japanese ReZero. And I was playing Betelgeuse level 3 with Amelia book combo. I really like the tools the deck has, and I like actually having a finisher in ReZero. So round 1, I go up against some guy who's like brand new to the game, like actually just like brand new. I think he'd like learned the game that day, and he's reading the play mat for like what he needs to do, and then he goes no clock draw, no mulligan, just turn 1 going first, tri-fields me, slams stock soul, attacks once, and then I kill his entire board, and then he never attacked 3 times again for the rest of the game because he never clock drew. And I won that game at like 1-5.
Nice buy card.
Yeah, I think the other good moment in that game was when he played down a 2-1, the one that loses 2 levels. It was Batman Ninja is what he was playing, by the way. He played down a 2-1 that loses 2 levels on stage. And he puts it in front of a level 0 bomb, and I'm like, that card's level 0. And he's like, okay. I'm like, my card kills level 0s if it dies. And he's like, okay, front.
Man, that's so
that
good.
was that game. I don't know what else there is to say.
My round 1 opponent was, well, originally I was supposed to have no show, and then suddenly there was some late entries. What are we going through? Oh, shoot.
How did we get hit with the toll road mix up?
I don't know, hit by the toll road. Round 1 was against GGO.
Okay.
Have a go. Against GGO, Gate Gold Bar, randomly. Gold Bar versus Sunshine feels bad, man. So, my opponent early on kind of showed his hand that he was out like 6, and I was like canceling a lot at 0 for some reason. Was able to like tri-field 0s and slam a climax, like pushed him to 1-5, and after that, like, he just took a bunch of damage again. He dropped like the 2-1 support, so all I did was top check level 0s and leave them on top of the deck, so my burns will go through, because the deck list runs like 12 level 1s, so you have like a really high chance of just hitting level 1s. Yeah, and then just kind of rolled the dice with like level 3 top checks and like 1 through that. That's about it.
For my level 1 round, I had this thing called a buy card. Me and this other dude were playing JP Weiss Schwarz while everybody else was playing the real game. It was good.
Powerful.
Round 2, I guess.
Round 2 was powerful. I go first, and I'm just like, okay, I have like Rickies and clean cuts and shit in hand, but I'm just gonna throw out this bomb because like that's got to be kind of annoying to deal with, right? Like, it's probably the best like turn 1 play you can like do with what I had. And my opponent puts down a clean cut, and he's playing GGO, by the way. I puts down a clean cut, and then he puts down the card that like mills to and like clock swaps.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so he's gonna clean cut this to the back row. He gets that's a pretty value turn he's gonna have. No. The clean cut stays in the open lane, and he kills the bomb with the card that gained power.
Ooh.
And I'm just really confused. I don't think that guy ever used his clean cut as a clean cut.
Strong.
So, yeah, I mean, with plays like that being made, I think he got to level 1 and then only had 2 attacks as well. I just got like impossible, like super far ahead, and then he like did the triple early play. But at that point, I was like already compressed, and like I'd stopped clocking like way early. So it was kind of just like chip him down until he's dead. So, because GGO doesn't really have a good finisher.
My round 2 was AOT, like the meta Mikasa Eren list. It was kind of like a weird game. My opponent got like triple Eren off like 2 turns in a row, but it didn't really matter. I was like ahead all game until like randomly I was at 1-5, and then I was like level 3, and I was like, interesting. And then like I just dropped like Yos and Chicas, and he kind of like just like, I reveal level 3, he takes the 3, direct attack for 5, he takes the 5, and like, oh, maybe I'm gonna win. Proceed the side attack for 1 for game, and then he died. It was a very weird game.
I still had a buy card for the second round.
Powerful player.
Powerful.
Round 3, I play against, finally, somebody playing their deck correctly. I played against Standby Gate Bang Dream. It was Standby level 1 with the just like 2/2s and like Rissa supports and stuff. And then level 3 was the Kazumi Burnt for Number of Events. Game was kind of uneventful. I mean, like, the real big things that happened were at level, like, I level locked him at level 0, like, because he kept canceling, and I just kept like passing afterward, like 2 attacks. Because I didn't want him to get like the standby and start like actually just like dumpstering me. And then the one turn where he finally hit level 1, he only had like a 4-card hand because of how many times I kept level locking him, and he kept like trying to keep pressure up. And he had to clock draw if he wanted like playables, but he only had a 2-card deck. And he's playing a standby for his level 1 combo. So he never really got to play down standby at all. Anything else eventful? I don't think anything too eventful happened that game, other than I did misprioritize. I didn't know what he played to stop early plays, if anything at all. And it turned out he played the Remy Bomb, but I never saw, because I think he only played as a 1-of, and he held it early, because he saw he was playing against ReZero. And because I never saw it, I had the chance to get my support that if one of my cards gets reversed, I can pay 1 and tap this card, and then like tap my Rem. So I could have had an unbelievably fat Rem against that guy, but I let one of my Rems get bombed. I think I won that game at like 2-5, so that was a pretty good game.
Round 3, I played against the mirror match, except it was 2 Soul Sunshine versus my Stock Soul Gate Sunshine. The game was like super even. But like I made 2 misplays. One was at level 0. I could have locked him at level 0. So he most likely would have had to like pass the next turn. I didn't do that. I pushed him all the way to 1, so it let him to do his things at 1. We both kind of like dirtled a little bit. We were just like slamming rubies and like manipulating our deck and just like milling our entire deck like nonstop. Just kind of like being super compressed. And then at level 3 is where I made the other misplay, which was really dumb. I played 3 characters, a 1 soul character, and then like 2 soul characters. One of them being Yo, level 3, I believe. And I was doing the math in my head for the damage output, and I was like, okay, if I play the stock soul, I like pretty much have game, I think. So I need to play the stock soul. Proceed to attack without playing the stock soul. I'm like, interesting. If only I like fucking played the stock soul, I wouldn't have left him at 3-6, which was enough for him to kill me from 3-2. And I was like, this is so sad. He even swung in the last lane. Like he swung for like 5, and I didn't cancel, even though I had 6 in deck still. It was very sad. That's about it for my round 3.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So round 3, I was like, alright, time to finally play the game. I'm ready. I go up against this guy playing like almost mono blue Sao with some red splash. He's running the level 1 Xenon combo where it's on attack top check. If it's like an avatar net or whatever, you just add it to hand. And then he was playing last shot. So I'm like, alright, I'm playing Blue Yellow Bang Dream. Dean's List, slightly modified for New York. I was feeling really good that game. I was at like 2-6. I had double Yukina in hand ready to go against this guy. I was like 5-16, 5-17, and then I died from 2-6 to vanilla swings. It was really strong. I love Weiss.
Good game.
Weiss is a good game.
And Weiss is a really good game.
It's round 4.
Round 4, Icy Sunshine. We both had like multiple turns at 0. It was like really wonky, and then he like triple canceled his like after his level 1 turn. And I thought I would be like super far ahead, and I hit him like 2-3 after that. And when I hit him to 2-3, I hit 2 Yo's to his clock, so I thought, oh, this is pretty easy. His Yo turn happens. I'm like pretty far ahead, by the way, at this point. I'm like 1-5 to his like 2-3, and like I triple cancel. No, but I think I take the Yo burn, so I can hit to 2-0. So I field like a bottom decker bomb, and I end up hitting him to like 5 cards in deck. So then he just has, even though he has 2 in clock and 1 at the bottom of his deck, he has another Yo because why wouldn't Sunshine just have like 2 turns of Yo? And because he knows what the bottom card of his deck is, I get burned for 3 by that thing. But I'm a good player, so I guess I canceled a bunch. And I guess he wasn't a good player because he didn't cancel a bunch. So I somehow scummed out a win at like 2-5, even though I had to stare down like... It was only 1 Yo at a time, which is I think why I lived. Because like he never got the chance to put 2 Yos on board and start getting like 5 attacks for free. He only got like 4.
Alright, my round 4 was against the Mirror again. Sunshine Stock Soul Gate, actually. It was against the baller himself, Joe. There's not much to talk about this game. He just kind of like ate shit and then died. And kind of like shrug, I guess you just never cancel. And that was it.
My round 4, I was a little disappointed coming off my loss, but I sit across from this mono blue AOT player. I just know the mono blue AOT player wins the die roll. Does not clock draw on their first turn. I'm like, oh, okay, this is already looking to be good. And they just play like 1 Predation Titan, which I immediately kill the following turn. They also like don't draw their Brainstorm until like one of their last couple turns of the game. So they were just clock drawing every turn, and I think they ended up playing like 3 or 4 of the Force the following Giants events just to try to maintain hand. I ended up winning. But hold on, I would like to say Yukina does not get you there.
I was going to say, Force of Giant Trees isn't even a plus. It's a hand filter.
I know.
Strong.
Okay.
Round 5, Dean.
Round 5, I was against the S tier deck itself, P5.
Ooh.
And I was so glad about my build because this guy, I'm sorry, if you were watching this video, you need to work on some fundamentals. Because turn 1, he looks at me, he goes second, and he's like, I need to push damage. He actually said that. He looked me in the eyes and said, I need to push damage. And he puts out double global on, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's pretty spooky. I'm ready to see some big boys hit board, right? No. Triple Ryuji Ditch Bonder to calling card. Doesn't have this. That's 5 cards. He's down to a 2-card hand. Attacks 3 times, hit me to 1-0. So I can barely play the game because I'm like 1-0 the second turn. And I'm like, I can do like single Amelia and like a level 0 bomb and a clean cut. And like, I can only kill 2 of his lanes. Because they're all 3 bugs. I think my clean cut failed the top check, and I'm just like, oh my god, please. So he gets level locked, moves up one of the ons, and like plays another card. Literally down to like a 1-card hand. No, he only attacks twice that game. So he had a 4-card hand. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're playing the game. And then next turn he goes Brainstorm, hit 1. And then he fields 1-0 Joker, 1-0 Joker, and the 2-1 Joker, but he doesn't have the climax. And I'm like, okay, this is really spooky, but thankfully I have like 6 cost 0 bombs in my build. And I have a 500 power revenge trigger, so my Amelia gets to AK if I crash 2 bombs. So I clear his board. And then the next turn he goes Brainstorm, hits 1, and then he taps down his front row. He like plays down 2 more cards and then brainstorms again. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty big brain. Only hits 1 again. Puts out 2 attackers. Next turn I kill the 2 attackers again. And after that point, it's like he wasn't even able to put 3 characters on board, so the game was over. Yeah, just don't be that aggressive in the future. It's not very good.
My round 5 was against this Xenon level 1 and level 3 combo deck.
Oh, hey, yeah, that's
So this was like a really spooky match because like you sit down against this and you're like, what kind of garbage deck is this? And then you're like, wait a minute, this guy's undefeated. It was pretty spooky. So my opponent puts down this marker level 0 Credo that I didn't even know existed, and like plays this Yui back row or like bounce combo off of any climax placement. So like the guy like plays that into my 3/5 anti-runner, bounces the Yui after playing a climax. You gotta pay 1, bounce it back to hand, and then give a character like 2,500 power till the end of your opponent's turn, and then kills my anti-runner. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with my life. I'm gonna lose this game. Luckily he hit me to 1, which let me kill the Kirito with a level 1 Chica bomb. Otherwise, there was no way for me to kill it because it was already too powerful.
Already unstoppable.
It was just 1 turn. Oh my god. And then like the rest of the game, he kind of like barely fields like 3 attackers every turn. He combos off like a couple times with the level 1. I'm like decently compressed. He's at like level 3. I just kind of like cancel most things at the end of the game, and then just kind of like destroy him from 3-0 because he's at 3-0 at that point with like 1 climax and a 10-card deck. And I'm like, yo, like Musashi and like Chica on the field. So just like he eats everything and dies. That was it for my round 5.
Okay, round 5 I play against this red blue ReZero player. It was a really good game. We were just kind of going back and forth for a little bit. He was a little bit ahead of me in damage just because he was getting some pretty decent cancels off towards the start, but I was kind of keeping up. And then he refreshes. And then I guess like some Ultra Instinct trigger or just something within him flipped to where he's just like, you know what? I'm just not going to take damage from you anymore. And he just decided to not take damage from me anymore, I guess. He almost made me, if I'm remembering correctly, he almost made me skip most of level 2, so I'm at like level 3. Thankfully, in Dean's List, we play one of the level 3 Kokoro Stock Soul, letting us rip damage out of our deck. So I ended up doing that 1 turn with 2 Musashis. So ripped out, I think it was like 6 cards from my deck. He kills one of the Musashis on the back. I had a 4-card deck at that point with 2 climaxes. I think he kills one of the Musashis, and one of them just kind of lives. I'm like, wow, that's a surprise. He sticks 1 point of damage somehow, because he just like, he killed it like randomly by just fielding a board of like shitters. And so yeah, I go ahead and refresh. I drop down like another Musashi, and I just do it again after I use the Taige to just, since we just refreshed, I just add the climax back to my hand for damage. I lived again that turn. I'm still not able to stick damage despite, you know, going like 4-3-4 and then milling a level 3 with my Musashi. Just naturally cancels on like, you know, the exact number, so it was really good. And then, yeah, after a while, I'm just like, well, I'm at like 3-3, 3-4, and I just couldn't keep up. He just stuck with the damage he needed, and I lost.
Round 6. D.
Round 6, I play against the guy from Stock Soul.
Oh, yeah, Andre, right?
Yeah, Andre, I think.
Yeah.
And then he's playing Tula Vru, and I'm like, oh no, it's Tula Vru. Oh no, I don't respect this deck that much. That's why I'm gonna lose. Because like I used to own Tula Vru. It was like one of my first competitive English decks, and I just I never really liked it. And you know the game's only gotten better since then. But here he is in the XO bracket, so that's pretty spooky. He starts off with 2 3/5s from like the TD that like can't side attack, and a global from the anti-salvage. Or 500 to front from the anti-salvage?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 500 to front. And I'm just like, that's 2 4Ks. And I look at my hand and I have Betty Brainstorm, Stock Bomb, Clean Cut Runner, and I'm like, oh. I'm clearing this man's board. And I'm only leaving a runner up. So I hit him to 1, and he does have the Mekon, but I only have a runner. So I like cancel 2 of those attacks too on the open lanes, and then only take 2. So I like hit to like 1-0, and I just like denied Mekon over multiple turns, and like his hand was like dissolving, and then had some back and forth, and then like Yami came out and almost killed me. That was pretty spooky. But then on the final turn, I think he had 2 money counters in hand and like 6 stock. 2-card deck, no climaxes, and I do the Betelgeuse combo. And the bottom 3 cards of his stock are clean, but the top 3 have a climax. And I'm like, okay, I need to stick 3. The best way to go about this is I'm going to swing with the Betelgeuse first, and he'll money counter. I don't know if he has 2 money counters, but I know he has 1. And then that's going to force him to money counter the 1 swing that doesn't have any extra attacks. So, like, I have a chance to scum, because I only need 3 to win. Like, I have a chance to scum victory by getting, like, a shot trigger on, like, a hand. So he money counters the Betelgeuse. And then the next hand just, like, gets a soul trigger. So it's for 4, and he only needs 3 to die. So he just lets that one happen, and then that just got me the game.
My round 6 opponent was probably the spookiest match of the day for me. Let's see. Or I guess like shout outs to him too, because he told me he watches this content even though it's horrible.
It's good car rides.
Good car rides, yes. So it was Re-Zero, Amelia level 1 combo, Amelia minus Soul level early play. So I get this like really huge commanding lead for the damage really early on, and like he's just kind of like eating a lot of damage. He gets like a cancel here or there, but he's just eating way more, like a lot of the bigger swings, and I'm just like canceling pretty consistently. I'm like, yeah, this game's pretty much won in my favor. Because the second I start dropping Yo at level 2, when I get to level 2, I'm just going to out-tempo him even if he like Nick Souls me. And then I was at like 1-5, and then my deck was like 1-3 climax, like 1-3 is a climax. I just take 9 straight, and I'm level 3 now. So I skip level 2 completely. I like play Yo. Like I play Yo and I get like a trigger or something to kind of push, but I couldn't kill him. He like Nick souls me again the next turn. I'm at like 3-2, and at this point my deck is like 1-2. I just take 4 straight again, and I'm at 3-6, and I'm just like, wow, this is how I'm gonna lose the game. He still has 2 more attacks. He sides for 0 against my level 3 Chica, gets the trigger, So I ends up siding for 1. I cancel on 1. The last lane, he swung into my yo for 3, and I canceled like on 1 or 2 because I was so compressed at that point that if I died there, I'd really be upset. Then the following turn, I just kind of like kill. He like nixels me again, and I kill him with like vanilla swings because I already know he's like mostly out because he was holding climaxes through refreshes, obviously for Amelia, and then his like top checks and stuff kept like dropping more climaxes into his waiting room. So I knew he's like pretty screwed overall. So I just kind of like swung in for 4, and he like kind of ate it and died. But yeah, that was like one of the most spookiest matches. I was like, well, this is it. This is where my run ends, guys. But yeah, it was an alright game.
Round 6, I played against my bestest friend in the whole wide world when it comes to Weiss Schwarz. His name was Bai. He doesn't come by often, but when he does, oh boy, do you feel happy. But yeah, I skipped round 6. And my opponent was a no-show.
Powerful.
Round 7.
Round 7, I got to meet the man, the legend himself from Connor from Connor's English Corner, and he's playing Konosuba, and I don't know how I lost that game. I was so far ahead the entire game, and then there was like a big turn where he refreshed 5 and 30. I was like, he's 1 and 6. Easiest game of my life. Triple cancels, swings for 2. I'm like, okay. I guess he gets the early play. Oh, I'm eating burn ones from these early plays because there's no climaxes left in this deck. He gets the refresh. Refresh is kind of compressed, whatever. And I end up eating like enough damage to put me to like 3-0. But the good news is I have like 10 clean stock. I know that's not good news. It was like 8 clean stock. And I'm against Konosuba, and I have a way to force the refresh that turn. So even if he plays down the foreclosure, the only thing that happens is I get decompressed going to next deck and then just blind stock like 10. So he foreclosures me there, because I've been playing around foreclosure up to this point. Like every time on my 3rd attack I would side attack, because he always had this level 0 on board, and I would just side attack it every single turn. Because I'm like, I think he wanted to, like, if he was gonna foreclosure me, it would have been on my like 2nd or like on my 3rd attack. I usually would think, to get the maximum value out of the stock. But he only did it on that last turn. But then I forced myself into a new deck, so then he only ended up hitting 1 climax. And I had crashed my entire board, so he didn't even have like the ability to do the clock kicks. But I also just can't cancel to save my life. So he goes like swing 3. He had 3 swing 3s and a burn 5, and then I only canceled the burn 5, and so I died. It's pretty good. But I'm X1 at this point. Still nervous because Bushiroad tournaments are pretty good, and I don't understand how the tiebreakers work all too well.
My round 7 was against this person playing Sword Art Online. He was playing Gold Bar and Fairy Dance 2K1 combo. It was very spooky because I had no idea what was going on with this person's deck, and it also seemed like that person didn't even want to be there to play, which was very confusing too. So my opponent, I think, wasn't having a very good game, but like his plays or whatever, like unintentionally put me in like really weird positions where I had to make really awkward decisions. Otherwise, like I would have like no playables the following turn, even if I clear his board, which is like was really annoying. Luckily, after I got hit to like level 2 or something, I got like a couple good cancels. And then I won off of Burns with Yo at level 2. And then I end my run as 6 wins, 1 loss. And then, yeah, into the top 8, hopefully. Nico?
Oh, yeah.
Round 7.
round 7, I play against the Konosuba player. It was a pretty whatever match. This Konosuba player was a little spooky because he was at 0-6 at one point and proceeds to like triple cancel me on exact numbers. I'm like, oh no, not again. Please, I can't do this again. But then it's okay because he whiffed his level 1 climax combo. I believe the next turn. No, the spooky thing was the next turn. He's like, no clock draw. Play Union Ricky effect for the Megumin. Level blue. I'm like, what? What's going on? And then he fields shitters and crashes board into my 4K Kokoros. I'm like, what? This isn't how this is supposed to work. And yeah, so it turns out he was not able to find the Union Climax when he needed it. The game wasn't, I think the only other real kind of like thing we can argue or talk about the game was he made what I would say is kind of like a questionable foreclosure play when he was at like 2-4 and I was at like 2-4. I guess he was maybe trying to just kind of like see if he can just kill me from there, but it didn't work. And then I single Yuki'd at him and that got me there. Because he refreshed a climax and then triggered 2.
So double's not lethal, single is.
Yeah, single is always
single
lethal.
Yukina is the
Double Yukina only sets up the lethal. Single Yukina is always lethal. And then yeah, he just died. It was really good.
Alright, you ended like 5-2, right?
I ended 5-2. I think I got 18th place. It was a really big embarrassment.
And then Dean and I got into top 8. Dean, you second place, right, or third?
Kid,
Dean
why are
got-
you mocking me when you got second?
What? No, I'm talking about after Swiss.
Yeah,
Into,
seed, yeah,
my
you were
seed
third.
was third.
Okay, yeah, and then my seed was 8th. I squeezed in as the last exit one because I was paired up twice during Swiss, and I won both my pair ups. So, yeah. I guess go ahead with your first top 8.
I am looking at everyone in top 8, and I'm like, okay, there's Jason. I don't want to fight Jason. Okay, there's Kid. I definitely don't want to see Kid. Fuck Kid. Okay, who else we got? We got that Stocksville guy. TLR's randomly spook. I'd rather have someone else beat this guy. I don't want to see him. The Connor. Okay, Connor actually beat me. I definitely don't want to see that.
In Swiss, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to see like any of these people. Well, thank God I didn't get any of them. I got some like Sal player, and I'm like, good thing. Sal is the only like real deck that you can like level lock outside of Bang Dream. And I just feel like their level 0s are like pretty terrible. Like they're like all like 2K like garbage, and they have like clean cut. But yeah, so like I level lock the Sal player, and then next turn he's like 2-2. It's what always happens when people play Sal against me. They go 0-6 to 2-2. I think he was playing Gold Bar for like, he had the Asuna Mill 11. He also had Last Shot Sin on, and he had the Yuki. But yeah, I was just bullying his board the entire game. And then like right on the next to last turn, I like look over at my stock, and I'm like, I haven't seen the Yui all game. I have not seen him search the Yui. But I swear to God, I know he has that Yui in him. I don't know when he got it, but I know he has it. And I look over at my 12 clean stock. I have 7 climaxes in like a 21 card deck. And I just look at this, like, I only crashed 1 lane that turn, and I'm just like, okay. I'm gonna encore this random card for 3. just because it's like, I feel like I have to. And that actually got me an extra cancel, and which let me live, which let me kill him. So that was pretty cool. Because he stock swapped me for 9 instead of 12, and then I still had like, even statistically, I'm supposed to have 3 to 4 left after that, and instead of like the extra 3 might hit like an extra 1 to 2. So, but yeah, Sal managed to punch through it.
So Connor went into top 8 as the number 1 seed, and since I was last seed, I played against Connor. He was playing Konosuba, Stock Soul Gate. The game was like kind of like a little weird at first, but it was like a whatever at level 0. He kind of like whiffed on all his Aqua level 0s that got reversed because he was out a lot of level 3s like right in the beginning. So yeah, the game's like going pretty like whatever, and then he gets hit to 1-0, and then he had the option. Like I think this was like a really weird play, or kind of like a greedy play. He decided to resonate instead of a drop search for the Union because he had the combo in hand, but not the Union, I guess. And because he resonated, it milled 2 more climaxes out of his deck, so he was like out like 6 or 7 climaxes by like turn 3. And I was like looking at my hand that has 2 climaxes in it, and I'm like, well, I know what I'm playing next turn. Unable to combo, crashes in Aqua again, still doesn't go to stock. And I'm just like, alright, play 3 characters, a climax, and he just eats it all. And then after that, it's kind of like the same thing again. He refreshes, and then like somehow mills his deck to the point again where he's like randomly out 6 again on like a fresh deck. I'm like, okay, I guess I play 3 Shudders again and a climax, and he eats it all. And then he's at that point, he's just like so far behind, he has to like make some like risky play. Like, I'm not even risky, like he has to hope to like level lock me so I don't early play stuff. At that point, my hand wasn't really like in a position to like early play anyway, so I didn't really care. And I just swung in again, and like he just kind of ate crap again, and then lost the game from there. It was like, yeah, it was just like a really crappy game overall for Connor. So that let me get into top 4 there.
Nice. Top 4, I fight against Jason. He's playing AOT, and AOT, I'm pretty sure is like one of my more favorable matchups, because I play 6 cost 0 bombs in this deck. And I every time I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, what happens if I just try field this like cost 0 bomb against AOT? My opening hand is like the Rem, the top checks it can run to stock, the Ricky, the Brainstorm, a bomb, and a book. And I'm like, hell yeah. I literally look at him, I'm like, whatever I draw, I'm gonna clock. It doesn't matter what it is. And then my first draw is a hand, and I'm like, okay, wait a second, maybe I'm not. This hand might let me do the dream. So we have a couple turns at 0, and then he hits me to 1, and on my clock draw, I draw 2 more hands, and I already have like a second book in hand, and I'm like, hell yeah, we going in. so I just like, I look at him, and I'm like, this might cripple you, and I just like throw down 3 hands and a book. And he told me he had triple air and wind in hand, and he ends up resolving 0 errands. So like he ends up just like crashing, and I just bomb his entire board. And I'm like impossibly far ahead. Like I am literally 2-0 to him being level 3, like near the end. And he was 3-1, and he refreshed 5 and 29. And he puts down like the errands that are on attack, like are on cancel burn 1. He puts down 2 of those, and I'm like, okay, well I'm 4 and 19. Like there's no way I'm dead here, right? Or I'm 4 and 15 or something like that. And he goes swing 4, cancels on like swing was it like 5? It was like 5, I think, because he got a double soul trigger on an open link. Because I've just been crashing board at this point to like, so yeah, swings 5. I cancel on like 3, take the burn 1. Okay, so I'm 2-1 now. It's like whatever. Gets another double soul trigger, hits me for 5, and I actually eat it. And I'm like, okay, you just made a mistake, because me eating that means that I can actually finish you now, because you're at 3 and like 15 now. Or 3 and 25. And then his next swing happens, and I think I canceled that one, and I go to 3. Like I'm like 3-1. The clock draw. No, I'm at 3-0. Because I remember I clock draw, and I'm really excited because the shot's still in my deck for the Betelgeuse combo, and I'm down to a 4-card deck. In my hand, I have 2 different witch cults for the discard and the Betelgeuse, and I have like 2 other cards. One is the anti-change counter, and the other one I think was the bottom deck Amelia Bomb. But I've been keeping the anti-change counter at the top of my hand in case it ever was relevant. And I was just so excited because of the fact that I get to like destroy this man in front of me, that I go clock draw with the card on top that I know I don't need if the game ends. So clock draw a book, and so the shot's left in the bottom 2, and I'm like, okay. Betelgeuse, top check 2, the shot's at the bottom. Refresh 6, refresh climax, so I'm only refreshing 5. Go off with the Betelgeuse combo, and I'm like, okay, I need a 6/7, but he's only like 3 and 25. So if he cancels on the hands, I pretty much guaranteed lethal, right? But I swing with the Betelgeuse first, and he cancels that. That's the only thing he canceled. He ended up beating 6 straight after that. I got no soul triggers. And then he puts down a single Mikasa, no climax. And I'm like, okay, I'm out 4, because I actually ended up triggering a book during that turn as well, because I'm a good player. The first swing is for 5, because he gets a double soul trigger, or is he like... Yeah, it was for 5. And I'm just like, okay, please not like this. Oh no, I can't cancel the 5. I can't cancel the 3rd double soul trigger he got. And then he only needs a burn 1 for game. So I canceled the Mikasa swing, but I didn't have a sack counter in hand, so I couldn't get rid of the Betelgeuse, and then he wins.
Ripperino.
Very sad times.
Yeah. My top 4 match was against Andre, playing TLR. I was like, this is a weird matchup. I haven't seen this in forever. I just kind of field runner, run away from his 3-5 he plays, play anti-runner in front of it, and pump it to 4K. Just kind of keep pushing damage, and then he kept triggering climaxes, and then hitting on Brainstorm. So there was a point where his deck was 10 cards or so with 1 or 2 climaxes in it. And I was just like, well, I might as well use this turn to push damage. Hopefully, just eats everything. He kind of just goes from 1-0 or something like that to 2. I'm like, sweet. He resolves triple Shimikaze combo or whatever. But I didn't really care because he was out so many climaxes, and I was just swinging for big damage at that point. Then after that, after that refresh, he kind of triggered again, and also took a climax's damage. Oh yeah, there was a turn where he used the Brainstormer to ditch a card to get a card from clock, and it put a gold bar into his clock. Then he did it again, and it put a wind trigger into his clock at the same turn. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then he just had no cancels and was just eating everything. And then I just remember the final board, I hit him to 3-5. Then he tries to just do what he can to deal damage to me. I get hit to I'm not even sure if I got hit to level 3. I don't think I did actually. And then so I have early play Yo out with Chica and some other crappy card in the open lane. He's at 3-5. I top check my deck. I'm like, oh no, it's a level 2. He's so dead here. I side his level 1 with Yo to burn for 2, and I think that just killed him there. But yeah, he basically had 4 attacks of lethal against him, and I think he only had 4 climaxes left in his deck at that point. It was pretty bad for him that game. But yeah, he played the anti-salvage out, and I was just okay. So I just only fielded 1 Chica every turn, and just salvage on the last attack. So I was just pretty whatever about that. And yeah, it was a pretty whatever game. I guess you wanna.
Okay, so now I went from good mood to really spooked mood because, you know, now I have to win, or like you walk away with nothing, and I have to see this spooky TLR again. Opening hand was a book and 4 level 2s and 3s, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna hold this book because it's a pretty good card. And okay, my first draw is a book, next one's a shot. Then we get an anti-change counter, and then I get a brainstorm. I'm like, oh, that's playable. Draw for like he goes first, so thankfully I wasn't eating too much garbage. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta get something good. Draw. It's a Ricky. I guess I have to clock this shot because that's a discard outlet. And then I get like an Amelia and some garbage that I can't play. I forget what it was. I just remember that all I had to field was like a brainstorm in like the right lane, and that was the only playable. Because I was gonna hold the Ricky, right? Get hit to 1 immediately after that. Draw for turn, get another book. I'm now at like 5. It's so good. Clock the book, getting myself to because I was at 0-6, so then I clock the book, go to level 1, getting rid of 2 climaxes and clock. Ricky, get a second Amelia, mill 8 cards. Off of my Amelias, I grab another Amelia because I need to keep milling. I think like the turn after that one, I'm already like mid 2, and I just slam down a Rem early play, and I'm like trying to like stabilize because I'm so far behind because I'm just not canceling. And I'm like, okay, you're gonna be a good player and get the win trigger. And he was a good player. He did get the win trigger on the 3rd attack as well, because he's like attack 1. I canceled one of them, and then on the final attack he's like attack, win trigger, bounce the Rem. I eat that attack, so my Rem early play condition was still active because I only had 2 engrave. So I play down the Rem, heal again. I have to use my stock to get playables. And then the next turn I'm level 3. And I go into my level 3 turn with 3 total stock because every single turn I was forced to use all of my stock on like plays. I actually don't even have a top end. And he had a single Yami on board from the turn before, because somehow he got to level 3 first. I don't even know how that happened. I don't know when that happened. He just started eating damage as well. So we were both just like eating garbage. And on that turn, like I played down a single Betelgeuse, didn't see the shot, and I'm like, okay, I don't even know why I put this thing down because I don't have the stock for it. And then I put down the Rem that's like top check, move to bottom, or keep on top. And the first card I see left in my 3-card deck is the shot. And I'm 3-1. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to move that shot to the bottom. I attack with both of my Rems. And then I just look at him, and he's 3-3 at the moment. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't think I win this game. And this shot is like literally like gonna do nothing. I'm gonna swing for 3 in this open lane, and he's just gonna live, and then I'm gonna die. So I go, you know what? Canceling a single attack is pretty good, even against Yami. So I pass turn after 2 attacks. He double Yamis me. I cancel the first one, eat the burn one, take the refresh. I'm now 3-3. Swings with the next Yami. It sticks. Does he side with it? I remember being hit to 3-5 specifically, because then he I might have started at 3-2, because I know I was 3-5 at the end, and then he swings with the Yami. I take the burn one, so then I'm at 3-5 from 3-4. And I'm like, okay. I now have to cancel not only a swing for 2, but one of these burn ones as well. And I only have like 4 climaxes a deck. Well, I'm a scumbag. So I cancel on 2, burn 1 sticks, cancel the second burn 1. I'm like, holy shit. Sure, I need 4 damage to kill this guy though. I don't have level 3s anymore. Like I literally have like a single ram. I have the Betelgeuse, and I have like a shitter and an open lane because he couldn't kill one of the rems, so he was just crashing into it. I play down the top check rem. I see it's not a soul trigger, and I'm like, okay, I guess I go 2/2/2. Swing 2, he takes it. Swing 2 again. Soul trigger 3, he dies. I wasn't expecting that outcome, but that's how we got there. That was a really scummy way to win.
Damn, I didn't know it was that close.
It was really scummy. It was like I could not believe like that I even got that last turn, and then he didn't have a money counter because Yami doesn't actually draw money counters, I guess. Yeah, it was like super close. It was pretty disgusting.
Alright, so I'm playing for the first place against Jason, who's on AOT. I'm like, I've scumbagged this guy before, I'm just gonna do it again. Turns out I was wrong. He scumbagged me instead. So, the game was like 4 turns maybe, and every single turn except for the last turn, I could only field at most 2 attackers. It was great. I loved it. I just ate shit all game. And Jason got it. If they ever release that video, it'd be really, really funny. But we sure like almost never releases these match videos for some reason.
Always record them, never released.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. So I did second. Dean got third. Jason with the first place victory. Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Lots of bombs and my power pump's pretty broken.
Oh man. And also, please ban AOT and Sunshine and Konosuba and every good deck in the format.
Every good deck.
Alright, I guess I'll see you guys later.